So we need to now understand the fact that he can stretch his hand, and the grace in the ways of the miraculous can be made available. He can stretch his hand, and in the ways of marriage. So you will now discover that now this is now beyond what you have a skill for, but what he wants to carry out. And is there someone under the sound of my voice that he had shown you a number of things that should be in your life? But when you look at what is happening on ground, you realize there is a deviation from the course. The diagnosis is that there is something called grace that is missing. And I told us in the pre-service teaching that God will stretch forth his hand today. And that was why we prayed for 1 hour before I began to teach. That he will stretch forth. And because we understood by scriptures, or we understand by scriptures that when they petitioned that by stretching forth your hands, what came upon the apostles was great grace. And now the Bible is helping us, is establishing the fact that there is great grace. Their own great grace was advertised in the textures of utterance, in the textures of miracles, signs, and wonders. But there are other people that their own great grace was fleshed out in the textures of wisdom. And I told us that regardless of how, shall I say, incarcerated a man can be, so he can be in the gallows, he can be in the dungeon, but there is still a residual operation that has now been habituated into him. So when he was brought before the king and the king made known his dream, instinctually, he was able to, you get what I'm trying to say? You know, it was an instinctual thing. He didn't try to, you get what I'm trying to say? Something came out. Grace. There is a grace of wisdom that can come upon you. And you will discover your words are such that only sages utter. There is a wisdom that comes upon a man, and we begin to ask, how did you learn the language of the elite? There is that which can come upon a man, such as it was upon Daniel, and we understand that God gave him that ability to comprehend dreams and visions. So we understand that there was a time. So much later, they would just bring him at any point before the king. He would scold the king and then just give the thing and leave. And we can go on and on and on and on and on like that. So grace lifted from one man, and then the Bible said, he wist not that God has departed. But the grace was manifested as a very unusual kind of strength. And we can begin to go on and on all through scriptures. But the Bible has just opened us, exposed us to a window that is suggestive of the fact that if there is any area that divinity needs to step in, it is very possible for a man to arrive at that position of privilege and favor with God that divinity will perpetually step into the affairs of his life. It is called the dimension of all grace. And it has that particular operational scheme with which it can be appropriated in all ways, procuring all sufficiency. In all things, unto every good work. So that our jotters are filled. The goal is not just so that we'll have learned something that is different from what we knew in the previous. The goal is that by the time we are leaving here today, everybody will know assuredly that God has stretched his hand. Amen. All grace. And that's the message I came to preach today. That the hand of God can rest upon your life, and whenever, at every junction, you need heaven to interrupt and rush in a flow of such that will advertise to a people the fact that you got not the land in possession by your own hand. It is when God puts that virtue of all grace. Say, but God is able. Now, the problem now is not on the side of God. Now, left to God, that possibility is registered. But the problem now is with the man. So you can look at some things in your life. And I have this problem especially with people that... Now, I was speaking with someone today, and I made mention of something. Many people's problem is not actually the kind of problem they should have. But because there is a kind of pressure that is laid, I finished at the top of the class. People looked up to me in the fellowship. And now there is pressure to perform. I was more brilliant than all of my colleagues. Everybody knew me to be that bright young chap. No. Come to submit to grace. Come submit to grace. Can we rise up as we make prayers? It is very possible you look at certain areas, certain corridors of life and destiny, and if you will be sincere with yourself, there is no sufficiency. There are certain ways that appears to be blocked. There are certain ways that appears to be no motion. You have tried putting mileage on a number of things, but it is not working. Regardless of how much you try to go of your own self, all what you have seen is denials of what you have seen, is impossibilities built into your own pursuits. But today, can you come to submit to ordination and call to God and say that by stretching forth your hand, you will put all grace. Mans keverusos ainite kusolinis te sales te beruzos te vanas renkosokites renkonsokitesini elanastos renusovini te kanda ambini se burgos ono fishes resunde katande belene besuzono kotenestes. They cried unto him and they said that by stretching forth his hands to heal, that he will work miracles, signs, and wonders in the name of his only child, Jesus Christ. And the consequent testimony was that with great power gave the apostles the resurrection of the Lord Jesus, and great grace was upon them. His hand came and there was a deposit of grace. Can you appropriate the deposit of grace in those areas of your life? Appropriate the deposit of grace in those regions, in those ways where it appears like the roads are blocked, where it appears like there is no motion. Mambo suvele niste suzoni ketashkas raina sume atunge lasto sukatende elambita soma elambeshke besuzone katisha suzono kotenestes. It is not in any way the time to quit. It is not in any way the time to give up. It is not in any way the time to backslide. There is a deficiency of ground, but we understand that deficiency does not exist with God. The deficiency of grace on ground is not a problem on the side of God. It's about God, and God is able to make all grace abound toward you always. This is the day where you need to put in me the motions of grace, modicums of grace. Malines the God of all grace, we call upon you. We call upon you. You will be the one to dance the victor's dance. You will be the one to sing the victor's song. Lame sombatesh keberuzos to velenistes. Akin vizinitis sanas. Embelines to suzonokotinas. And then besombergozonostes. We humble ourselves under your hand in broken and contriteness of heart. We ask that you will give grace. You will give grace. You will give grace. Members soloniste ferruzos to sinic tandas alemeste berugosontes kevale and then besuma tekate tekatilinia gadestes zonostes. Now the situations that has bedeviled you will give way. That those that have been forced to have false accounts, forced to have false testimonies of you, forced to have false perceptions of you, they will be compelled to change their mind, because Jehovah is about to show. They looked up to him and they were radiant and their faces were not ashamed. Anis sovorus sequentes salinestos. Renken sempentem vurosos izai. Rembintandas gatosha. Recondos to velenistes zono koteshos izinia katanastos. The grace for strength. He says they looked up to him and they were radiant and their faces were not ashamed. The grace for strength. He brought them forth with silver and with gold, and there was not one person that was feeble of all their tribes. Out of weaknesses they were made strong. Make us strong in our pursuits of you. Make us strong in our delivery of you. Oh, that you will make us strong in our witnessing. Take away the limitations of our flesh. Veto the limitation of gender. Veto the limitation of qualifications even. Oh, that the things of ordination will be advertised and imposed upon the land. Make all grace available for Quickened Crate. All grace that will grant to us the sufficiency of resources, the sufficiency of men, the sufficiency of ideas, the sufficiency of innovations by the Spirit, the sufficiency of diffusion of realities from the realm above.